Hey everyone, welcome. We are going to talk to Joe today and see where he's at, what he's been learning with his healing journey, where he is going, and he just had his first yoga session outside. So we're going to discuss about how he's feeling, what he's going through. I think it's really important that we get to learn from people who are transforming and evolving, because learning from other people's perspectives really helps you and just expand and grow your mindset and consciousness, and maybe understand from a different point of view too. So welcome, Joe. Thanks for being here with us today.
That's awesome.
How are you feeling?
Great. Outdoor yoga. I'm sure you can imagine not a lot of that in Alaska. They don't have frozen ice yoga, and the summers are very limited. So to have the opportunity to be outside in spring and hear the wind and the water and the birds and the pecking of the wood and being on green grass this early in the year is like just a blessing in itself.
Didn't you say this is your first spring to have since
1989? So Alaska doesn't really have spring. We have a thing called breakup, and that just means that the ice is melting. And breakup is about a week. And what you do in Alaska is you look at the trees and you go, are those buds? And then the next day you wake up and you go, those are buds. And then the next day after that you wake up and you go, it's green. I mean, it's extremely fast.
Oh, okay.
So there really isn't a spring. It just kind of turns into a mud hole for a while, and the trees just pop very, very fast. So to be somewhere where it transforms slow and you're able to like watch that happen and spend days in that stage of awakening, which is, kind of profound with my awakening experience. I get to spend a lot of time with it, and that's been really good for me.
Okay,
really,
good.
really good.
So is it like depressing in Alaska, not having the sun and, just that warm weather sometimes, and it's always pretty wintry there, isn't it?
Sure. So we have 2 seasons in Alaska. We have winter that's like literally 8 months long, and then we have summer that's like 3 months long, and that's really it. So you're either where I live.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, if you live way up above the Arctic Circle, it gets dark for days. The sun doesn't come up. Where I live, it isn't like that. At the minimum, it's like about 3.5 hours of sunlight in a day. And in the summer, the sun goes down where you can't see the ball, but the light is there. So it's either you're hibernating, or in the summer you're just up, because you don't really know what time it is. It doesn't matter that it's 2 a.m. because you've waited 9 months to be outside and do stuff. So we're very neurotic that way as a mass.
So what's the difference between this culture and then Alaska culture? Like the energy.
Sure. So
just this difference in being here this spring versus usually spring in Alaska.
People right now are really impatient. They're at the end of a very long winter, and this winter was very difficult compared to the last 10 years. This has been a pretty rough winter. We had 90-mile-an-hour winds for almost an entire month.
Oh, wow.
4 days in a row, then 3 days off, 4 days in a row, 4 days off. So even for us, that's extreme. So a lot of cabin fever, a lot of, alcohol is very prevalent. Drugs are very prevalent.
Is it?
Because what else is there to do?
Is people real depressed and down and stressed and
yes,
tense?
And people don't take care of themselves very well, because in the summer, maybe they take care of themselves. Yeah, there are people that are active, but to be active in the winter requires a certain level of financial ability. If to own a snow machine, to own a trailer, to own a truck, to have the time off, to be able to drive where you can use them,
right.
That's an expensive hobby. And hunting is something that's reasonably popular, but again, not cheap.
Yeah.
Bullets are cheap, but guns aren't. The permits aren't. The truck,
and it's just expensive there in general.
In general, I can get an amazing cheeseburger here in town for $7-9. It's $27 where I live, and it's not nearly as good. There aren't really cows around. We don't have a dairy.
Illinois, we're a little bit, especially Taylorville, we're a little bit cheaper than like some city prices, but Chicago may be more relative prices to you guys, but I don't even think they're that high.
No.
So there's just a huge price difference.
Yes.
Does that make you veer, like the energy in studying that and learning that and being here this spring, does it make you more veer? Do you want to live here more during the winter, or do you want to go back to Alaska?
I have told the people in Alaska that this last winter, even though I've been here a month, and then I was also here about 3 weeks last time I was here, it's my last winter. I've been there since 1989. They are really difficult, and I'm a pretty reasonably mentally strong person, but it's just,
But you notice the difference now.
Yeah, the older I get, the harder it gets. And the opportunities, my opportunities are really during the summer. Like most people in Alaska, their main monies are made during the summer months. So why am I suffering through winter? It's called snowbirding when you leave. And I've always wanted to snowbird. I used to when I worked, but I snowbirded and I left and I worked. And now it's like, well, now I can kind of, not that I wouldn't work, but because it's so much less expensive, I could not work as hard, you know. And in the summers when you don't want to work and you go to Alaska and you work a whole bunch and you don't get to go camping, you don't get to go fishing, you don't get to go hiking, you can't go for a week-long hike up in the mountains because that's when you need to make your money. So if I can kind of reverse that, so when I'm in Alaska, I'll still do sound, I'll still play music, but if I can spend that time enjoying that place, that's really the goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's going through a transition period on, you know, in his spiritual journey of incorporating that part into his life and then figuring out what does resonate for him in his new journey. So he is figuring it out. I'm sure it'll be bumpy and you'll, you know, might make different decisions along the way as you go and stuff. But at least you have that foundation of being aware of the difference even where you live, because it's huge and important for your journey and your energy and to keep that peace. And just having like the sun today and the warmth is so magic to me.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to have it even in Illinois in March, because sometimes it's really bad weather in Illinois here too, but we've been having really great weather. So that's such a blessing for both of us to experience. But sometimes Illinois, we do get warmer weather here and there too, even in January. So Illinois weather is just like always up and down, but it's just important to be able to hold your balance and master it no matter where you are and be happy.
Yeah.
But it also is important to go for your happiness and what you actually truly desire and what is more better for you, like on a daily,
and I've
like
spent,
in daily life, to help with your balance and your spiritual journey. And then if because you're becoming, and he's learning about healing, so he wants to serve others, so it just impacts that, and then it mixes it to keep it fresh for you too. So if you do want to mix Illinois and Alaska, you can.
And something I've noticed specifically with starting to practice some yoga is there were things with my body I didn't know were wrong, isn't the right word, but like I have a lot of tension in this thigh that I didn't even know was there until I started to do things. And I haven't necessarily hurt this thigh, but there's something going on there. And when you sit with your legs crossed, I could barely do that the first time. It hurt so bad. It felt like somebody was hitting me with a hammer.
Is this your fourth session?
This is my fourth session.
So he done outside yoga today, and it's his fourth session since he's been here. And you already notice a huge difference, not only in your body, but awareness.
Yeah, the awareness is in the time you take at the beginning, like you said, breathe in,
that's the
breathe out.
self-healing, the awareness of listening to your body and being able to communicate with it and listen to your intuition and implement that, because why there's blockages in his leg, but he's got to figure out what was that blockage.
Right.
What's the lesson so that he doesn't create that again. So there's, you know, more to yoga than and meditation than just doing the moves. There we get really down into the wisdom, I guess you could say, the deep wisdom. And so that you can have that deep transformation, because that's what we're all missing in therapy, is that extra, like, that shift in our energy, shift in our perspective. But you got to learn, and you got to learn the lessons and learn the messages that your body gives you. So that's what you're actually going through.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel on your fourth session? You are aware of your leg. How else is everything going?
My hips, like I said, I've gotten it to where now when I sit, they don't ache. They still are a little tight, but it's as soon as I breathe and let that go, they just lay out. Like that, they supinate out.
So maybe you were harboring your energy down which is maybe tense, fear, stress about, because he's transitioning and going through a lot.
It's my transitional stuff. And that I look backwards through this scope, reverse is always 2020. Now that I look backwards, there's all these things in Alaska that were all hip and in this area oriented. And I'm like,
So as a practitioner, the message usually on your hips and down is you're not in the right place. You're not walking in the right path. You're not, walking the right way in life. So you'll have issues from here down, because your body's telling you, hey, you're not walking in the right direction. You're not thinking right, or you're not in the right area. So maybe his body was communicating with him to change it up and get some Illinois in him,
Yes.
as well as taking care of your body as well.
Yeah. I wasn't doing
Maybe
myself
not necessarily
any favors.
Illinois, but your different steps onto your spiritual journey.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because you may have been blocking that.
Well, and as soon as I
'Cause
went
a lot
back
of
to
us do.
Alaska and I left here in October, I was like, everyone's like, you just need to get back on a plane. Anyone that really cared about me was like, get back on a plane. You came back here glowing. Why are you not going where you were glowing and growing? And I'm like, that's a really good question.
That is such a good message today. Why are you not going where you're glowing and growing? I love
Why are
that.
you
So put that out. Joe's got such great, what do you call those words? Phrases?
Yeah, and it seems that
Phrase
seems
trends?
well, it seems to happen a lot. I spoke in what I like to consider like in parables, things that people can understand.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I like to do that too as a teacher and a leader. So if you are becoming a teacher or a leader, or, you know, serve others in the spiritual area, and you don't even have to call it spiritual. You can just call it, you know, transformation, evolving, growing together, just living our best lives. This is just a great learning experience from Joe because he's going through it. And sometimes when we're already like at my level, I forget all those little bitty important things, you know, talking in parables, helping teach people, you know, just starting at a basic level. Because this stuff, it's simple, but it's not, you know what I mean? So the more we do it in parables or break it down more simple, the better people can understand.
Yeah, you got to meet them where they're at.
Right. And we don't have to put labels on everything. You don't have to call it spiritual, but you can call it that just if you want. It doesn't matter. But it's just a journey of transformation and evolving and growing into your best self, but figuring out that there's more in life. There's so much more, and that's what he's figuring out with the glowing and the growing.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of years. I've been an audio engineer for a long time. Did sound for other people and watching other people get to perform, and then I thought, you know what I really want is to be the person performing, and I've done that the last 3 years, and it's been great, but it's not the end. You know what I mean?
Where do you see yourself going now?
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is just, well, because to me, playing music isn't about performing; it's about serving.
It's about the energy,
It's
though,
about
too, right?
Right. It's about the energy.
So you want to do a shift in the music because you were playing in the bars and all that. Now you're wanting to play like festivals and more
family friendly, less alcohol driven. People are more there to hear the music, and we're not entertainment. We're the thing that you're paying attention to. In a bar, your background noise.
So now you have to make those decisions and those choices of saying no, what's not in alignment for you, and yes, this is an alignment of what I want for where I'm going.
Yeah.
And that is...
And it's becoming easy.
Sometimes it's rocky at first, but it becomes easier. And then when you're taking care of your body, like yoga, does it not make it more...
apparent?
Yeah, and you're not, the obstacles aren't hard, or, you know, and we kind of question or we fear about, well, how's it going to happen? I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it.
Right.
You'll figure it out along the way. You get those puzzle pieces. That's what you've been getting.
Yeah, and if I can...
You're not going to get it all in one day. It's too much.
No, and if I can do this to myself in a limited amount of time and a limited amount of effort, you know, imagine where I'll be back in 40 of these. If this is what happens in 4, what's going to be at 40?
That's what happens with all my clients. Usually in about 4 sessions, even after 1 session, they notice a difference. But 4 sessions, they notice huge differences and they can't believe it. So just start trying to do yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, any of that. Just try it, even 10 minutes, because it will go a long way, especially if you are serving others. You want to make sure you're taking care of your mind and your body. Okay, so now you are getting more pieces to your puzzle since you've been in Illinois of where you're going next. He is leaving next, or in a week and a half, 2 weeks. He's going back to Alaska. And what do you plan on doing there now?
Well, I have to move out of my apartment, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
The universe kind of aligned that for me. I didn't really think that was something that was going to happen in the way that it did, but now that's what's happening. I'm not stressed about it at all.
They're basically pushing him out of his apartment. He can't stay there anymore. It's because of...
It's circumstantial.
Yeah, and it's just, and sometimes this happens and we think negative about it, but it's actually very positive because he shifted his perspective. He's looking at it on a higher perspective and he's saying, oh, I see this situation for what it is. I realize that things are falling out of my life because they're not in alignment with my new self. So that's what he's actually learned. That's why the obstacles aren't as bad, because you know that they're really not obstacles, they're for you.
Right. Like so
you'll figure out where you're going to live.
When my band was like, hey, don't play 60 times with us this year, just play 6, and if you're here, that's great, and if not, you're not. And I would have, right, I would have taken that as, well, you guys don't want me, and what the heck, and this is all my stuff. And now I don't think about it like that at all. It's like, wow, thanks for being so kind and understanding and realizing that I've got to take care of Joe before I can take care of anything else.
And that's your energy that you're broadcasting. So that's your feedback that you're getting back from the universe to say, hey, Joe, you are broadcasting like this. This is what you're getting back. So now you know that all that inner work that you've done, you've broadcasted it out. Now you're getting that back. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
You just keep getting it
and
back
it wasn't a huge delay. We were talking like 10 days or so. It used to feel like it was months before the thing would bounce back. Now it's a little over a week, and whatever I put out, there's some things that are really fast, but the greater experience of the whole field of life takes about that long. And I think it'll get a little faster, and it can happen a little more, maybe. I'm just letting it, I'm just experiencing it from...
You are embracing the unknown. He's embracing the unknown. Yeah. He's glowing and growing in Illinois. Okay, so you're going to go back there, and whenever you feel that you want to come back to Illinois, is that where you're just going to... So it's up in the air. We hope that he comes back soon. We might do another video with him before he leaves. But if we don't, hopefully we'll see him back when he gets back from Alaska, and maybe he'll shoot us a video from Alaska and let us know how he's doing there and show us some mountains.
Yep.
But
and there's some work on people that I need to do there now that
he wants to try some healing work there, so that'll be really good. He's going to start doing some of the stuff that he's learned and really figure out what resonates for him as a healer, because that's his purpose in life, and he's going to do his own, his own jive. So if he wants to do his own music way, he can do his own like sound healing, do his own thing with that. He's just doing and incorporating what resonates for him as a healer and what he wants to bring to the table and serve. So that's really important. It's really great. So we wish him nothing but love and light and peace on his journey. We already know that everything's working out for you, and we hope to see you back. And thank you very much. Have fun in Alaska.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.